a fireball, glowing from my own hand. I couldn't breathe. Impending death was all that faced me. I snapped instantly back to focus when I realised I could no longer hear my family screaming, and it spurred a new feeling of urgency. I must wake up. It had to be a nightmare. There was no way this could be real. Welcome to Storytime with 13-year-old me, where we read The Sparks of Insurgence, a cringe paranormal fantasy romance book that I wrote over a decade ago now. The first chapter's kind of wild. If you saw the video that I released yesterday where I very briefly explained the plot of this first chapter, you'll know just how wild it gets. But if not, sit down, clear your mind, and let's start chapter 1. I do wonder how pick-me my main character is going to seem now that I'm older. I'm hoping she's likeable, but only we can judge that. Please let me know if she's likeable. Maybe we give her a few chapters to settle into herself. And actually, forget whether she's likeable. Let's see if she has any personality at all. Any personality. Any interests and hobbies. Anything. Or she's just so reader insert that she's just a husk. That's besides the point. I will start now. Chapter 1. It was a quiet Saturday evening, and I stood anxiously at the top of the stairs, feeling a tidal wave of nerves. My closest family members sat just downstairs, ready to celebrate my 17th birthday with me. I was less enthused about today. Aging was just a simple reminder that I was becoming closer and closer to the influx of responsibilities that life had to offer. Side note, I do think that might have been an addition from 15-year-old editing Mina. I don't think 13-year-old Mina was thinking about that. Peeling my dark green t-shirt from my skin, I attempted to circulate the chilled air into the gap. The winter had struck my small hometown hard, but despite the snow and storms, I had been toasty warm, wearing as little as denim shorts and a crop top. Looking into the full-length dusty mirror opposite me, I wrenched the black miniskirt down as far as it would go and swept my lengthy scarlet hair over my shoulders. It rippled down in its natural curls, hugging the shapes of my body till it reached a stop at my waist. Waist? That's, not practical long hair, in my opinion, as an adult with an influx of responsibilities. Gazing curiously at my reflection, I took in the best parts of my appearance, creamy pale skin and startling emerald eyes, and wondered how they had gone from an ugly mess before puberty to a face I was satisfied to have for the rest of my life. I practiced basic facial expressions, watching the mirror alter its image time and time again to match the position of my freckles and other features. Eventually, I settled with a convincing smile, in spite of the awful argument that I'd had with my best friend Callum the night before. Why did he think it was a good idea to tell me that he was moving country on the night before my birthday? The sinking feeling in my gut left me wishing that I could quickly work out a way to continue my life without him. Oh god, that's so dramatic, but fair enough. A deep, booming voice interrupted my thoughts. "Fayla, where are you? Please come down now. We're all waiting for the birthday girl." My face lit up in a genuine smile at my uncle's apparent worry. I read that with zero worry. Imagine that he was worried there. Turning to walk down the stairs, I paused, sensing that Uncle Jay... Not Jay from N-hyphen. I would like to point out that Jay from N-hyphen came into my life way after Uncle Jay was, but here we are. Okay. Turning to walk down the stairs, I paused, sensing that Uncle Jay had not quite finished. As usual, I had guessed right. "If you don't hurry, the cake and the bin shall become very highly acquainted over the next few days." Rolling my eyes, I feigned extreme panic at the suggestion and padded quickly down the rough carpeted stairs, trailing my hand along the soft wooden banister as I went. "Happy birthday!" The familiar chorused voices of the twins reached my ears first, as their small, fragile bodies catapulted into me. Kind of wild, that sentence. Catapulted into me, gripping me in the way that only 5-year-olds can, their brunette locks ruffled by the motion. Harry and Lily tightly captured one leg each, their small fingers gouging into my skin. "Come on, guys. Please can I have my legs back? You know how much I love my legs." The twins both failed to conceal their laughter as I fought to remove their limbs from my body. "Never, ever, 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 ever," came the reply from the devil's assistant, Harry. Most people looked at the two and decided that Harry is the obvious trickster. However, I, who has to live with them, do not agree and believe that Lily is the brains. We just call her Devil. As I was having no luck removing them, I stared wistfully at my mother, praying that she would come to my rescue. Winking slowly, Mum whistled at the twins and called out, "Heel!" in a sing-song voice. I shall remember that despite the controversy, training your children like animals is effective control. Oh, I did not write that. I did not write that. That was someone else. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. I need a moment. Broken from my thoughts by my mum, who had resolved to tell me what the evening consisted of, I perched on the edge of a chocolate brown sofa next to my uncle and stretched my long legs in front of me, relishing the feel of the furry rug beneath my bare feet. I reckon we should open presents before having our buffet tea. Don't you agree? How bloomin' British did I sound as a. I mean, I am British, but having like a little buffet tea. Oh, okay. I reckon we should open presents before having our buffet tea. Don't you agree? My mum asked. Eagerly, I nodded, hoping frantically for a specific gift. After unwrapping a silver watch with green wrist strap, about 1 billion boxes of chocolates, and some sweet hand-drawn cards from the twins, I condensed my rubbish into one small pile and waited for my last and main present. And finally, she began, after what felt like some very subtle hinting, we've decided to let you go to the rock concert in Glastonbury in a few months. As she announced this, a broad smile spread across my face, making my cheeks ache. I had only been hinting for the last year that I had wanted to go. Finally, I was being granted that bit of freedom that made me feel beyond my age. The twins bounded up to me with a white envelope that seemed to reflect the glow of the setting sun through the windows. Weirdly unnecessarily poetic, but okay. Reaching out my hand, I accepted the gift. As I slipped my fingers under the gap to open it, I voiced my thanks. Mum, you have no idea how grateful I am. I have been looking forward to this day since forever. I ripped open the envelope and pulled out 2 glossy tickets. There are 2 tickets? Yes, we got 2 so that you could go with Callum. You see, we don't want you to go alone. She trailed off when she noticed my disappointed look. Tears filled my eyes and I blinked desperately, trying to keep them at bay. Fela, what aren't you telling us? What happened with Callum? She asked, her voice laced with panic. Sweetie, please, tell us how we can help, Uncle Jay added urgently. I, I, I don't want to talk about it. I'll be upstairs if you need me. I slid silently towards the door, determined on leaving the now awkward environment without answering any further questions, however it seemed that Uncle Dre? However, it seemed that Uncle Jay had different ideas for me, and he grabbed my arm, motioning for me to come back. This was the last straw. Why couldn't anyone realize it was a touchy topic and drop it? I said I don't want to talk about it, I roared. My vision began to blur, and I could see red bleeding through the watery chaos of my tears. An intense feeling of heat rose up from inside me, and I felt only omnipotence when the hidden box shattered within and unleashed the waves of power. They spread vibrating through every fibre of my being until they reached the tips of my fingers. Screams littered the air as I tried to pinpoint the reason why my family were no longer near me, but I found it near impossible to see through the erupting smoke. The inferno was deafening. Jay's steely grip on me had gone, but I couldn't tell which distant black cowering figure he was. Flames licked at my hair, and my eyes burned with the sensation of smoke. Instead of feeling as though I was being smelted, I felt only a gentle tingle from the swirling fire at my skin. A blinding light seared through my impaired vision. A fireball, glowing from my own hand. Without warning, a wall crumbled in and cut me off from my family. I think I must have meant a ceiling, but sure, a wall. I screamed but remained frozen. I couldn't breathe. Impending death was all that faced me. I snapped instantly back to focus when I realized I could no longer hear my family screaming, and it spurred a new feeling of urgency. I must wake up. It had to be a nightmare. There was no way this could be real. I scrunched up my toes and blinked as fast as I could, wishing I could wake up. I could feel the energy draining from my body. I collapsed. As my body went limp, I hoped for a miracle. And that's the end of chapter 1. I I mean, I don't think she has a lot of personality, and Unfortunately, I'm not that far the other side of 17, but I'm so far away from 17 now that I can no longer accurately remember what sort of attitude I had at 17. So the way that she has reacted to everything that happened there, for me, feels a little bit young for 17. But that would make sense given I started writing it when I was 13. And I think when I wrote it when I was 13, I think she was 15 or 16. And then when I edited it when I was 15, I aged her up to 17. But there we go. The house is on fire. Her uncle, her mother, and her two baby siblings are inside. And maybe she has fire magic? I wonder what's going on there. I'll see you in the next one.